Good evening, everybody. The hour being after 6:30, I'd like to call the Tuesday, August 13th, 2024 School Building Committee meeting to order. Just as a reminder, this is a hybrid meeting. Any members of the public that may have questions could email middleschoolproject.k12.ma.us or mmortali.k12.ma.us, and we'll deal with your questions then. Our next order of business is approval of the previous meeting minutes. Do we have any questions or comments about the meeting minutes? Hearing none, I'd take a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
So moved.
I have a motion from Dr. Kenny. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Gallivan. Let me poll the committee. Dr. Kenny?
Yes.
Ms. Gallivan?
Yes.
Dr. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Krakis?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher? Jack?
Hold on. Yes.
Mr. Senek?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you, Jack. Mr. Senek?
Abstain.
Okay, and is anybody else here that I missed? And I vote yes, it is a vote. Our next order of business is the project status update. Kate, over to you.
I'll pass this one over to Griffin and Joel.
Thanks, Kate. So big picture, since the last time we met, we reached our substantial completion on July 16th, so that was a big milestone to hit. Now we're, full steam ahead in our summer slammer, finishing up in the next 2 weeks really, but the picture here, so that's where the existing school used to be. This is where all of that pile that was out on East Street is now being relocated to. So that site comes up about 14 feet, and then there's also some underground infiltration systems for the drainage above, for the water above. So we are, plugging away at that. It's a lot trucking material, and you gotta fill it in 1 foot lifts as we were talking about earlier, and compact it and test it and everything. So we are, site contract has been great. We've been working 7 days a week to try to get this up and hopefully over to school as soon as we can. This photo here, that's the playground. So we have the rubber surface in there, the wood chips, and the 2-bay swing that we had added. And then just a typical classroom, so you can see the furniture's in, all the desks are set. And then on the right there, the breakout space with a little table and chairs for students and teachers. Then we have the gym, so the photo on the left there is kind of as you're coming down the hallway, you get the wall graphic on your right there and the double doors into the gym. And then in the gym, we get the photo of the bleachers up, and then also the basketball hoops are up, backboards. Gym, that space came out really nice, actually. I think a lot of you walked in there earlier today. And then this photo here, the typical tech classroom. So this is a classroom that has the folding glass doors. So you can see the furniture is all set in there. That's also a very nice space. So there's one of those on each floor. And then auditorium, the last thing to wrap up there was to get the curtain in, so that's all installed. And I know there's some FF&E that goes in that space as well, so I think that's probably what you see on the stage there, but that space is complete. And then media center, so I think the media center is fully unpacked at this point, so all the books are in their place. And if there was another picture here, if you kind of turned around, there's the curtain wall that looks out to where the existing building was. But media center wrapped up nice as well. And it's just kind of look ahead, things that have been completed since the last time we met. Really just working through punch list and final cleaning on our way out the building. And then landscaping and the phase 2 part that we've been really focusing hard on. So we'll be paving this weekend. So come next week, it's gonna start to look like something for the first day of school. That's just this is our current phase that we're in right now. So the existing building's down. There's also, I think, the logistics plan that we talked through for the bus drop-off and the parent drop-off kind of coincides with this, so that orange area is where that part of the site is kind of where we're still working. But if you follow the blue and the orange, that will all be what's paved this weekend. So those access roads are gonna be ready for drop-off activities.
Griffin or Joel, do you want to talk a little bit about what the site's going to look like at the first day of school? I know we've touched on it previously, but now being August, just want to talk through that.
Yeah, so basically what's highlighted here in orange will be pretty much where we're consolidated to. There's fencing in between where we are, or what the existing building was, and where the new building is. We'll get everything paved. The basketball hoop up, or the basketball court to the north will be paved, so I believe that's where the recess is gonna take place. The parking lot kind of to the south there, that's the teacher parking lot, so that'll be in place. And then we're also gonna have, the green line is the bus exit, which is the same, I think it's green, sorry, I can't see it from here. But where that goes out to the south side of East Street, that is the same route that they've been doing for the past year, but we're also gonna be adding some parking down there. Because, the majority of the parking for the school is where we're working right now, trying to get that done for you guys, but we have some temporary spots in there kind of south of the field. I think, yeah, we've talked through the drop off, so we're gonna have most of the concrete walkways basically from where that drop off point will be by the loading dock, all the concrete in there to get you back to the main entrance, which is where the canopy is, yeah, right there. So that will all be poured, so when the kids get out, they'll just, walk across and come down the concrete walking into the main entrance. And then there's also, if you're parking kind of on the south side, there's the asphalt walkways that we have in temporarily right now. Those will most likely stay in place, depending on how much of the concrete we can get done in the next 2 weeks, but that's most likely gonna be the temporary condition there just for the start of school.
So this temp traffic pattern will take place until approximately October 18th, and then the site will go into its final traffic pattern. So we're gonna have one more meeting with the police department and fire department and the school, just to make sure that we have everyone's on board with this. I mean, we've already talked through it with the fire department and the police department, but just now getting closer to the start of school, we want to make sure that we have police details in the correct way to direct traffic, crossing guards in the correct places. So we're just going to talk through this one more time. But I think Fontaine's trying to get the front parking lot done as soon as possible. And, by mid-October, we'll be switching over to the final traffic pattern. Any questions on the construction update? Nancy?
Yeah. So just to understand what you were just telling us, are you saying that for the temporary, cars and buses will both enter the same driveway? And the
Yes.
buses will go on the blue path? No, who goes on which path?
So the cars enter off of Washington, and then they travel down the access road around
Okay.
the building.
Yeah.
And behind the basketball court, and they'll drop off right around the loading dock area, and then continue exiting onto East Street. And in the temp condition, the buses enter off of Washington and go down the same way they did when we had Bird open. So they'll go down that bus exit road, temp bus exit road, and exit onto East Street. And then in the final condition, the buses will be coming off East Street and doing a loop and going back out, and the parents will be entering off of Washington, and then coming around the parking lot and going back out. But yes, both buses and cars will be entering from Washington for about 6 weeks.
Okay, and in the end, the parents will come in from Washington Street, and where will they exit?
They will come in Washington, they'll loop around this front parking lot and then back out Washington. And the buses will enter off the East Street, travel around the bus loop and back out onto East Street.
Okay, so will that temporary road that's on the south side of the fields go away? Or is that another way that parents can exit in the end?
In the final condition, that goes back to a pedestrian path,
Okay,
as it was before we started the project.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions on the construction update?
So change orders next, Kate?
So we do not have any potential change orders this month, but I just wanted to remind everybody that we have $4,050,000 left in the owner's construction contingency, so we're in really good shape. We don't need a vote on PCOs tonight. And then just to touch base on the transition process, so the custodians started working out of the new building on July 22nd. The administrative staff started working out of the new building August 5th. Teachers have the option to start unpacking next week. Central Kitchen will start working out of the new building next week. And then teachers return for their first professional day on August 26th, leading to the first day of school on August 28th. And then the vendor invoice package for July.
Kate,
Yep.
just one question. Occupancy permits,
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time, Jack?
where do we stand? Permits,
We have the temporary certificate of occupancy. Is that what you're asking? You're cutting in and out a little bit. So we'll be opening the school with a temporary certificate of occupancy, and we will be transitioning to the full certificate of occupancy, I think, once the project is near completion. So we've been working closely with the building commissioner, but we are all set to operate on a TCO for the school year.
okay, thank you.
Yep. So the July invoice package includes Vertex invoice, TAP A invoice, a small invoice from Anderson Electric that had to do with irrigation out at the ball fields, reconnecting it. We have a number of FF&E and IT invoices this month to process. We have 2 invoices for the run house order, which were for the shirts that were ordered for the first day of school in the new building. And then we have a few other invoices related to irrigation. So just to flip through it real quick, the standard TAP A Vertex invoices. Fontaine's rec for July came to $4,156,383. And through July, they are about 90% complete with their contract. The budget summary has been updated and is included in the vendor invoice package. An update on reimbursement is included. And then we are looking for a vote to approve the July vendor invoice package for $5,536,961.33. So we'll start with that.
Do we have any questions or comments about the vendor invoice package? Hearing none, I would take a motion to approve the vendor invoice package for July.
So moved.
I have a motion from Ms. Gallivan. Do we have a second?
I'll
Second,
second.
Second from Dr. Kenny. Let me poll the committee. Dr. Kenny,
yes.
Ms. Gallivan,
Yes.
Dr. Goff,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Krakis,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Senek?
Yes.
And I vote yes, it is a vote.
I had one additional invoice that has come up since the July vendor invoice package was put together. We've been asked to bring the WB Mason invoice to the building committee's attention. It's for $183,563.50. We have all of these furniture invoices reviewed by the furniture consultant to confirm that everything is on site, and they have a full punch list. So we are having them review this WB Mason invoice that has come in late, but I was wondering if we could get a not to exceed approval of $183,563 for the WB Mason invoice pending Stefora's approval. So we don't have to wait till mid-September.
Questions or comments?
Yeah, Kate, that number that you put out there for the not to exceed, that's the number that they actually billed us for already?
That is the number on the invoice. So we are having Sephora review it. So if we have punch list items that are included that they're trying to bill, we'll knock them down. And then if we have items that haven't been delivered, we'll also take that off the invoice and not pay them. So we just like to have the consultant confirm every single item that they're trying to bill for.
Understood, thank you.
Do we have any questions or comments further?
Kate, would this put the FF&E at what, 95%, 100%, real close?
I would have to look at that.
It's okay.
Second.
I mean,
I think we still have a bunch of invoices outstanding. All the FF&E really came in at the end of June and through July. So some vendors are a little bit slower with processing invoices. So I still am missing quite a few. So we'll probably have a big package next month, but I would think we're probably 60% complete if I was to guess right now.
but
Yeah, I can get back to you.
everything that's needed is in the school, right, for opening day?
Yep, everything that's needed is in the school. Just some vendors take a little bit longer to send us
Just the
their
process.
invoices than others.
Got it.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, would somebody like to phrase a motion? Kate, how should we phrase this?
Asking for approval of not to exceed $183,563 for the WB Mason invoice pending Stefora's approval.
Very good. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
I have a motion for Mr. Krakis. Do we have a second?
I'll
Second,
second.
Second for Ms. Gallivan. Let me pull the committee. Dr. Kenny?
yes.
Ms. Gallivan?
Yes.
Dr. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Krakis?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Senek?
Yes.
And I vote yes, it is a vote. Next, Kate?
Just communications to and from the MSBA. So we're up to date on our change order reviews. We have sent them the executed substantial completion form along with our temporary certificate of occupancy. So they have all the documents and they're very, very happy with how the project's turned out. And then just this note we have on here that the MSBA, once the district has received up to 95% of the estimated grant, the MSBA will place the remaining payments to the district on hold. So we're about 80% through July. Then any other business open discussion?
Yeah, Kate, I meant to ask this earlier, when we were going through the status. When you were doing the demolition and filling in the hole after the building was down, Joel, did you find anything that was surprising, like we found on some of the other projects, an oversized boulder, a buried oil tank, some debris that you didn't expect that was buried, or was it just really pretty clean?
It was pretty clean. There were the basements were significant, the vaults, but nothing that we got a change order from the demo contractor for or anything like that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yep.
And I'm assuming with the temporary occupancy permit, all the systems are up and running, commissioned, everything is done in that regard?
So functional testing for the mechanical systems is ongoing. They're just kind of working through last issues and things like that. There's a whole continuation of the commissioning process that'll continue into the heating season.
I see.
So it'll be kind of an ongoing thing. And then there's also, through the state, a 1-year follow-up that has to be completed to make sure everything's still working as it was supposed to. So the commissioning will kind of keep rolling with us here for a little while.
We have cooling if we need cooling.
Oh, yeah, the space is very comfortable.
I'm assuming all the alarm systems are up and running, all that kind of fire protection. all
Yes,
that
we have
stuff.
fire protection, fire alarms, all that stuff was up and running as a condition of the first certificate of occupancy.
Sure.
And then, like the building, audiovisual systems and things like that, security systems. We have our first training for the district, for the schools on those systems tomorrow, to make sure they know how to use them before everything's, before alarms start going off and things like that. But yeah, everything is right there.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'd take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion from Dr. Kenny. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Krakis. Let me poll the committee. Dr. Kenny,
Yes.
Ms. Gallivan,
Yes.
Dr. Goff,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Krakis,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Senek, and I vote yes. It is a vote. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you all.
Thank you.